Captain's Log, Entry 5. After several revisions, the ice refinery is beginning to look like something workable. Several pieces needed to be redesigned, repaired, or rebuilt. There is currently enough ore storage to last a while, considerable power generation, and room for docking small craft. Our next focus should be twofold. 1. To begin processing the ice into oxygen and hydrogen, and 2. Obtain more ice for further processing. Throughout the week, when I have time between doing work and sleeping, which is considerably less than I'd like, I like to hop on Space Engineers and do some cleaning up, some tidying, some decorative work, things like that. I try not to make too much progressions between the episodes, but I do like to work on my world here and kind of do some things. As you can see, it does look a little bit different than when we last saw, and I think that's for the better. We added a lot of detail work. I like these steel catwalk frames kind of spontaneously on this. That adds the structure I felt like we were missing. I feel like that resolves it. That's what we needed. I put some lights and some spinny lights and things. I've died a couple of times from flying around looking at it and slamming into rocks like that, like we just did. How much health did I lose? Okay, only 5. I'm good. Yeah, I've died from that a few times, so don't tell anybody. But that happened. I also got rid of this weird grid thing that I had where they were on opposite or different grids. And so now the whole base is on the same grid. Everything is connected. It doesn't look as bad. It doesn't look that bad having everything on the same grid, and it's way easier to keep track of. So yeah, so I did that as well. So that means I had to redo this whole bit, which let me redesign the solar panels as well. So I have done that, and they look good. I like this. It let me put oxygen farms on, which we don't really need oxygen farms, honestly, because the whole point of the space is to refine ice into oxygen and hydrogen. So we'll get plenty of oxygen from that. But I figured we may as well get a little bit of oxygen farms on the solar thing, and maybe we can continue to use this design further. One thing though, I'm not sure the script I'm using likes the way I've done these rotors. I'm not sure it turns all of them. So I know the script controls these 2 rotors, but I actually manually put them in the position they're in. And also it looks like I've got some different orientation on these blocks here. I'll have to decide which one I like better. I think that one. So I'll have to change the rest of them to match that. Okay, it's just this one. Let's actually change that then real quick. That won't be too much effort, and we can do that together quickly. So it goes like this. Yeah, that's what we want. Yeah, that's the orientation I want. All right, perfect. Much better. Let's make it the right color. There we go. Done and dusted. All right, so I also added quite a few oxygen tanks in here. They're in line with the conveyors. I think they'll pass items through, although the only thing that really would be passing right here is oxygen anyway. So that's fine. That doesn't actually matter. What else have I done? I added in more cargo containers. I finished the hole. If we extend the drill all the way to the bottom, it does bottom out. So this is as deep as it's gonna get. We could add more pistons. We could add more pistons and extend the hole. But really, I mean, we're just mining stone at that point, and I don't necessarily want this to be a refinery base. I think we'll worry about refineries on the whatever we build next. In this case, this is just gonna be for ice, really. Speaking of ice, there is another ice patch on this rock. Somewhere. Okay, you may just have to take my word for it, but there is another one. There it is. There you go. You don't have to take my word for it. So we might run some conveyors out there and build another drill. That's a little far, but it's not unbelievably far. So we might run some more conveyors out and another drill to there. But I think that one would just be temporary. It would just be some real basic setup, and we tear it down when we're done. This drill will probably stay here forever. I may even leave it running forever, just for aesthetic reasons, I guess. Semi-functional, I don't know. That could be cool. What else have I done? Oh, I installed my very first mod into the series. This is actually a mod I wrote myself. Well, sort of. If we hop in this guy, and I hit V, you can see if you watch this screen right here, it's going to cycle through a couple of charts. But after this chart, there we go. The cap logo. So I ripped off the Caterpillar logo for one of my own. And so the mod just basically lets me put that on displays. We've also got one of such displays here on the actual equipment itself. So I like that. I think that's working pretty well. Today, I think what we want to do is start by putting in the processing for the ice. Let's look at how much ice we ended up getting out of that hole. 1.1 million. And so that's just in the one container. That container is completely full. And this container contains a little bit as well, 73,000. We've got some stone in here. I'm not sure what to do with the stone. Again, I don't think we're going to actually refine that stone here. We'll build refineries elsewhere, somewhere. Okay, so I had designed this storage kind of area. I like it being there as well. But before we store the gases, we need to refine the ice into said gases. And so I think the way we're going to do that is put our refining station like right here in the wall right here. So we'll pipe some conveyors to figure out where our grid is going to look like and build that. Oh, here's another thing I did. I've been playing with sensors a little bit, and I put up this kind of docking indicator here. So you can see the lights are red right now. That's to indicate that something is docked. It is not safe to be here. Oh, I left some scaffolding. Let me remove this quickly. It is unnecessary. Okay, so it is not safe to be here. So let's hop in this. Let's ignition. And we'll switch lock. And I'm just gonna float down. And now you can see the lights are blinking more rapidly in green to indicate that it's safe to dock here. So, and that's pretty foolproof. There are a couple of instances that can ruin the system. For example, basically the way it works is this, what's it called, sensor, has a small sensor area right about here that is set to detect small ships. And when it detects a small ship, it flips the green lights off and the red lights on. Well, okay, so that's not necessarily true. It toggles them on or off to the opposite of what they are now. So the way you break this, if you're trying to break it, is to have your connector off and float up close, or like don't lock your connector. That would break it as well. So if you get within sensor range, right, so now you can see the red ones are on, but you don't dock and you just move away, the red ones are stuck on. So now if I go try and dock again, it switches to green and I'll dock with green, but I don't want that. So I'm not sure that there's a way to detect that something is actually docked here, but that's the solution I figured out for getting those lights to work as I want them to. I'm playing around with timer blocks a lot lately. Well, a little bit lately. They're pretty fun. You can do a lot of stuff with them. I've got this one set to set my hydrogen tank to recharge, my batteries to recharge, and my antenna turns on and off my antenna. So it's kind of an ignition block. So I don't have to hit 4 buttons, I just hit the 1. Okay, so let's figure out this refining setup. Now I think the first thing I want to do is put a conveyor junction right here where this corner is. Now if we were to just break this block though, we lose our connection between this section of the base and the cargo, which is no good. So we need to create a temporary link. Let me actually grab some materials quickly while I'm thinking about it. We'll just deposit everything we have, and then I'll take maybe like 100 of these and like 60 of those, and that'll give us enough to get a rough idea of what we're doing. Okay, so we need to link these containers up to the main base in some way, and I think the easiest way to do that is just by building a bunch of blocks like this, so that now they're touching. Just have to make sure that everything remains touching at all times, and that resolves that issue. So right here, we're gonna remove this guy, and we'll put in a conveyor junction in its place, just like that. And I'm not gonna weld these things up right now, so we'll put some tubes out. Maybe we need 2 tubes, and then a corner or a curved conveyor tube. Whoops, we're coming out this way now. And we want it to be more like over here. I think inset in the wall, kind of. And this is basically just gonna to be our O2 generators. We want to come almost diagonally down, so that's a little bit. So what's our best way to do this? If we come this way. Okay, what we could do, let's remove this. And maybe we do you connect? Sorter, junction, tube, air, that one. Okay. One day I'll get it figured out. Okay, so we'll come this way. We could probably even come back one more. And if we basically just like bring this out, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I like this. Oops, okay, I'll clean that up in a little bit. Yeah. Okay, so I definitely want that closer to the wall. Okay, so we'll just put some... Do we fix it now? Yeah, let's fix it now. So this is my building process. I don't usually build a lot in view. I'm sure there's some Latin phrase I could use for that or something, but I don't speak Latin, so okay. I don't usually build a lot with viewership. Okay, so if we come down, is that more of like the location I want? I kind of want it to hug the rock face. So maybe we put a bend here instead of this. And then we'll bend it again. Just so it hugs the rock a little bit better. Do we want it to hug even more? No, I think that's fine. Okay, I like that better. Yeah, I think that's a good look. I think that'll be a good look. Okay, and now we need to get some O2 refineries, or what are they called? H2 generators? Hold on. Where's my G menu? O2, H2 generator. Yeah, that's what we want. Converts, generators produce oxygen and hydrogen from ice. Yeah, that's what we want. So we want to put a couple of these. I'm thinking maybe like 4. And we'll connect these to the grid. Unable to place it. Oh, because it doesn't have a... It's not... Okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. But I think we'll do like 4 of those. Maybe kind of like this. Obviously, they'll be on the grid, but... And linked up to these containers. Maybe like that. And then we'll run another tube from the outputs of those down across the floor. And we'll rebuild this so it's connected to the grid as well. I think that's pretty good. We might do... If we do refining here... Let's consider that as an option. If we do, we can put that in this little cavern as well. We could put storage on one side, maybe over here, just a handful of boxes. And then the actual refineries and assemblers over on this side. We could make that happen. And that might look pretty good, actually. Okay, so let me get this welded up and put together. Okay, I think I've got everything ready to plug in. I only made 1 tank because, God, that took like 8 trips. I think we need to do something about that, and we will resolve that issue in the next episode. Is my intention. You know, there's a lot of stuff that goes into building in this game that I just don't show. Like, there's a lot of mining. There's a lot of crafting. I ran out of iron, so I had to build a refinery to take care of all that stone. I ran out of iron again, even after refining all the stone, so I had to go find an iron asteroid and grab a load of that. So, yeah, I think we will put a refinery on this base. I like that idea, but I think we'll put one. I don't think we'll do that next episode, but the one after. I think next time we'll make a new ship. We'll make a new small ship. I really want a welding ship. This sucked to do by hand, to be perfectly honest. The challenge would be that, you know, I don't want to accidentally, like, weld up all the decorative scaffolding I've got going on. Anyway, let's plug this in and see if it works. Okay. Go. Oh, I hear it going. Ignore all of the incomplete things. Let's do farm. No. Generator. So there are 4. Can we do inventory like this? Yeah, okay, they're getting ice. They're getting ice, that's good. Let's look in the tanks. The oxygen tanks are at 1% from the oxygen farms. Here's our hydrogen tank. Here's the one that's actually completed. I see. Hydrogen tank. Oh yeah, look, filling. Sweet. All right, cool. We've got hydrogen processing. I suppose we'll be getting oxygen as well soon. That's very good. By the way, these rotors are working now. So I don't know what that was about before where they didn't work, but now they're working. I really like this solar setup. It works pretty well. There is one issue. You can see this rock right here causes a shadow throughout part of the solar cycle. So this panel like spins around and flips out for a while. It eventually corrects itself though. So I don't think that's a huge issue, but it is a small one. But it's not big enough that I care to fix it. All right, sweet. Well, okay, so I think the next step is a beautification pass. So we throw some... Yeah, I'm not really sure what to do, how to make this look any better, honestly, but I'll figure something out. So I think our next step is, yeah, we're going to throw some scaffolding and some decorative blocks and things on it. And detail pass is done. I'm pretty happy with this. By the way, if you hear some weird sounds, that's it. If you hear some weird sounds in the background, that's my bird. He's hanging out in my room right now. Okay, moving on. Detail pass is done. I like this. This is pretty cool. I use the catwalks I use the graded catwalks and like the solid catwalks, but not welded in, to make this interesting kind of cage around the things, to kind of protect them. Altered the orientation, got rid of a couple of superfluous blocks, so that we only have specifically the blocks we need. And I think this looks pretty good. This turned out very well. I'm happy with this. One thing I really like is the spotlight from the other side, lighting us up. I think I'll keep doing this. I really like using the spotlights as our kind of method of illumination. I think once we get our welding ship done next episode, we'll find a way to get some spotlights on this area as well. I'm thinking we put one kind of down here, maybe on a rotor, pointed up like this, and then maybe one from the top here, also on a rotor kind of pointed down. I think that would be an interesting look. I'd also like to get some spotlights on this area, on the kind of landing area for the ship, for the small ships. I think that would be a good look as well. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I'm not ready, baby steps. We take one step at a time and only worry about that step as we get there. But it is nice to have kind of plans for the future. Speaking of plans for the future, next time I think what we're going to do is work on a mining ship. Welding ship. My biggest complaint right now is that I'm starting to build at a larger scale, and it takes me like 7 or 8 trips to build anything now. If I'm building these 4 oxygen tanks I added just now, for example, I mean, I had to do 2 trips each tank, so that's 8 trips just to get those tanks in. And so the limitation really is inventory size here. If I build a welding ship, then we can put a cargo container on it and have way more inventory available to us to weld with. Now, the only downside that I can see of using a welding ship, and let me know in the comments if you agree or if you know a workaround for this, is that I really like to build with the scaffolding blocks as decorative. So I don't know of a way to like blacklist the like don't build iron like steel blocks or armor blocks or whatever. I don't know of a way to tell the ship that. I mean, it's not too bad if I just have to grind them back down after I'm done. I can do that without too much trouble. But it would be convenient to not build them in the first place. Alternatively, if you know of a mod, I'd be happy to add a mod that would add like decorative scaffolding. That would be okay. Let me know in the comments if you know of some such things. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Thank you so much for watching. Today, we had a great day. We had a fantastic episode. It was actually several days. But we had a fantastic episode. We got a lot accomplished. And our base is coming along. So, without further ado, until next time, see you then. Bye-bye. That's the end of the video.